All about alimony. Understanding the basics in North Carolina. Dustin McCrary, divorce attorney and founder of the law office of Dustin McCrary, discusses some of the basics of alimony. Hi, I'm Dustin McCrary, and I'm glad you've joined me today to discuss one of the important issues that you're likely to encounter in the divorce process, the determination of alimony. So let's discuss first things first. What is alimony anyway? In a nutshell, alimony is support that one spouse, typically the higher earner of the two, pays to the other following a divorce to continue to support that spouse. Essentially, to receive alimony, you must prove that you're the dependent spouse. While there are various factors that go into this, typically a court will look at the income and earnings of each spouse's current and future earning potential, education, standard of living during the marriage, and other factors to determine whether one spouse is substantially dependent upon the other, and if so, how much alimony should be awarded. The question is often typically followed by a second question. If one spouse is found to be a dependent spouse, how much alimony does he or she get, and for how long? This is a good question, and the answer depends, at least in part, on how the parties choose to approach the issue. First, I'll note that, as with almost every other issue in the divorce process, the parties can decide to determine alimony by agreement, as opposed to letting the court decide the matter. If the parties choose to resolve the issue by agreement, there are truly very few limits as to how they can set the amount of alimony and the frequency and duration of payments. While it's always important to have a knowledgeable and experienced attorney on your side as you negotiate and enter into any legal agreement, for the most part, you can craft that agreement in a way that best suits your needs and lifestyle as a family. If you choose not to resolve the issue by agreement, however, the other choice is to allow alimony to be determined by a court. If a court resolves the issue, a judge will use statutory law to consider and address the issue, including consideration of 15 factors set forth by statute. Some of those factors include earning history, future earning capacity, the debts and assets of each spouse, and whether or not any marital misconduct has occurred. On that note, I want to be clear that marital misconduct, things like adultery, abandonment, domestic violence, things that can and often do have a significant impact on the amount of alimony that's awarded or not awarded in a particular case. It should go without saying that these are not behaviors that either spouse should be engaging in anyway. But as an added reminder, beyond causing discord and difficulty in your relationship, they can also have significant legal ramifications. Ultimately, there's no one specific formula used for calculating alimony. The judge is allowed to broadly consider the factors and determine an amount, frequency, and duration that he or she feels is equitable and appropriate in a particular case. This is yet another reason why you don't want to approach this issue alone in a courtroom. You always want to have an attorney who understands the law and the best strategies to pursue on your behalf. A few other things that are important to realize and remember about alimony. First, regardless of the order issued by the court, under the law, a dependent spouse's right to alimony ends when he or she passes away, remarries, or begins cohabitating as part of a romantic relationship with another person. It's also important to realize that from a financial perspective, alimony is considered taxable income to the person who receives it and can be counted as a tax deduction by the person who pays it. This is just a good thing to keep in mind, particularly if you're determining alimony by agreement. Ask yourself, is the amount that I'm paying or receiving, considering its tax implications, an amount that works well for my lifestyle? It's always best to think ahead and be prepared. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope this video and the many other videos and resources on our website are helpful to you during the divorce process. If you're ready to begin the divorce process, or if you find yourself in the midst of it without knowledgeable and experienced counsel, I'm here for you, and I'd be glad to help. Call me anytime.